Hello again, everyone. Brandon here. If this is the first time on my channel, then hello to you too. Paul McCartney, St. Louis, August 13th, 2016. I was there. But this is my ranking of the Beatles album, The Beatles, also known as the White Album. We're doing our rankings from 30 to 1. So without any further ado, let's get it started. At number 30, this is a song list, but at number 30 is kind of an honorable mention. We'll just put that there. It's not really a song, it's a sound experiment, I guess you could say. Sound collage. Interesting in its own way. And that's Revolution number 9. Not really a song, so it's going to have to go at the bottom. But it is quite interesting, and it freaked me out when I was a kid. Still kind of freaky now. Number 29 is a song fragment, and that's Wild Honey Pie, Paul's beginning of a song, I guess you could say. So it at number 29 is actually the first song at 29, and it's really not a song, but that's where it is. 28 is the first song on here by George Harrison. Around this time, between Magical Mystery Tour and the White Album, George had some good songs that were kind of rejected in '67, but two made it on the albums. One made it on the Magical Mystery Tour, and this one on the White Album in '68. That being Blue Jay Way, and this one being Long, Long, Long. It's just not a song that I really get into. It's interesting. It's got some funny or weird sounds. It kind of fits in with things on White Album, but not one of his better ones. Number 27 is Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Number 26 is a John Lennon song that a lot of people do like. I think Ringo likes this song. Cool when the old supergroup did it in the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, but me, I've never been a real big fan of Your Blues. It's actually kind of worn on me more since then. So number 26, Your Blues. Number 25, I once going to try to go through this quick. I once read a story that director Steven Spielberg was not a Beatles fan until he went to college. When he went to college, he heard the White Album, and that's when he realized he was a Beatles fan. I think you can find the story now, but the second part of the story I've never been able to find. And the song that did it was Honey Pie. And I can kind of understand it because it mentions Hollywood, and it's got that old Hollywood feel or that old feel to it. So he probably heard that and saw that there was a whole different side to the Beatles other than the mop top stuff. At number 24 is Good Night. Sweet song. An incredible song written by John for Julian. Not my kind of song. I know a lot of people like it. It's actually, I like it more. I think probably when I had my son, or when our son was born, and it meant a little bit more then. Um, Moving on to number 23, that is a song that John wanted, I believe, to be a single. This version of it to be a single, and I like this version. We're getting into the territory where it's harder to rank these songs because I like all of them. Some I like more than others. That's why they're up higher. But here we are. But that's Revolution number 1. I like the way it is. I think the single version is much better. It needs to be faster and peppier song, and it's just a much better song. Moving to number 22, and that's Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey. The song title took all of its space for me to describe it, so we're moving on. 21 is Rocky Raccoon. I know a lot of people like this song. I do in some ways. Some days I do more than I do others. It's a fun little story song. Number 20 is a song I used to like more, but I don't. I think I think I have a problem when I hear songs too much, and this might be one of them, and that's Birthday. It's cool for birthdays, but it's not still a good song, still a really good song. It's the Beatles. What can you say? But it ends up at number 20 on my list. Number 19 is Piggies, another George Harrison song. Um, Interesting lyrics, interesting story, uh, kind of clever by George, and some people might not like the song, but I like what it represents. Number 18 is Cry Baby Cry. Excuse me. Another John Lennon song. Um, I like the song probably more than others, and it's more interesting wordplay, and it's I don't know. It's just it kind of just fits in this album pretty well, and I like it. Number 17 is I Will. This is a song that I would have said I won't years ago because I didn't like it really at all. But I think when you understand Paul's where he was at in his life at this time, or at least the style of music he was making at the time, this fits in, and it fits in well with this. He's got two sides of himself on this album. I The reason why I got the McCartney shirt on is because the White Album to me is a Paul McCartney album. I just feel that this is more his album than anybody else's. I think it was John Lennon's favorite album, oddly enough. But Paul's got two sides. He's got this more acoustic, humble side, and then he's got this hard rock side. So I Will at 17. Number 16 is Maharishi. No, it's Sexy Sadie. And I can't remember which group that was. Radiohead did that one song, and they kind of just stole the whole song and just rewrote it. Sexy Sadie is one of John's better songs, especially on the White Album. It's a good listen. Number 15 is going into the top 15 out of the top 30. And number 15 is Obladi Oblada. Love the backstory. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I guess I should have looked it up, but that Paul got it from, the Jamaican man. And cool story, fun song to go along with. I used to not really, I didn't like the song as much. I think I like it more now. Maybe that's why it's at the mid mark in the list. Um, Number 14 is Ringo's Don't Pass Me By. I think this is probably, of the songs that Ringo wrote when he was a Beatle, this is probably the best one, I would say. Maybe. I don't know. I know he doesn't have a lot of them. Once again, I guess let's just say that it's one of the better ones. I got to give him credit. It's one of the better ones that he did. Let's say that he sang and he had to write it. It's a fun song. And when we saw him in concert, he did it there. It was cool. Number 13 is a song dedicated to Eric Clapton's Chocolate Fetish. So it's Boy Truffle. I've always liked that song. Nothing more to say. Um, Number 12 is, oddly enough, another song when I was a kid that kind of scared me. There were so many Beatles songs that scared me for some reason. And I don't want to hear them, but then I wanted to hear them. It's kind of like, woo, woo. But I did, and I like it. And of course, I like what it goes into. So, number 11 is I'm So Tired. John was apparently tired a lot. Had a few songs about being tired. I can understand that sometimes. I get tired myself when I shouldn't be tired. Now for the top 10. And number 10 is a John Lennon song written about his mom or for his mom and Yoko with a reference to Ocean Child. Beautiful song, very solemn, or very, it's not sad, but Solomon. I guess you could say that. Beautiful song. Really, probably one of John's better, especially this style of song. One of John's better songs throughout his whole career. Number 9 is a song that's actually, I'm surprised myself that I have it in this spot, and that's back in the USSR. USSR. Can't say it anymore. It doesn't exist. Maybe that's why I can't say it. Back in the USSR. I think I put it where I do because I think it's kind of a cool beginning to the album. Just like Sgt. Pepper, the way it starts. I think one of the better things about Sgt. Pepper is its opening. This one, I think this is kind of a cool opening for who's going to start an album with a jet engine. Cool opening, cool song, great start to the album. Number 7 is a song that I don't think my wife likes it, and I don't think other people do, and that's Helter Skelter. It is, I think I said number 8. Great. I think it's what it is. It's number 8. So Helter Skelter I think, is Paul's attempt to go back at the Who. That's what I know because the Who said they made the loudest song, so Paul was trying to make the loudest song. I don't know if Helter Skelter is the loudest song, but it's one of the most audacious songs, maybe, or strongest guttural songs that the Beatles did, especially at that point. And it may be one of the first, heavy metal songs. Number 7 is Martha, My Dear, the Old Sheepdog. Nice little sweet song by Paul again. I do like it when I hear it. It's funny how over time songs, on Beatles songs especially, you're like, I really like those when I was younger. And then you get older, I really like those now. Still like them all, but they swap around. That's why when I made my 100 best Beatles songs list, it was, I just laugh at it because I can look at it later and go, why do I have that in there? That shouldn't be that high. That shouldn't even be in the list. But that's what's fun about it, I guess. Number 6 is Blackbird, one of Paul's better songs. Wonderful meaning, wonderful story behind the song. Obvious to some people, harder to pick up for others, but beautiful song, great message. Nothing really more to say about it. Now we're down to the top 5. You could almost probably put Blackbird in the top 5. It's tough now. Number 5 has a song that talks about bent back tulips. And there's not a lot of songs that have that in there. And that's Glass Onion. Another song that used to kind of freak me out when I was a kid, but it was cool because he talked about other Beatles songs in it, which was really weird. But I've always enjoyed listening to it. There's a strange anthology version of it, and another one of John's better songs, especially on this album, and one of his better songs in the latter half of the Beatles days. Number 4 is, oddly enough, Happiness is a Warm Gun, and I guess it's foreshadowing in a horrible way. John took that from a Life magazine, a magazine. It was on the cover. And the song is done 50 style, and it's a fun song. Dark message, but interesting and fun song. Now we are down to the final 3 songs on the Beatles or White Album. And you could probably swap these around. They're done by 3 different. So if you've been keeping track, you should know what 3 are left. Have you been keeping track? Are you that fast? They're done by 3 different Beatles. Sorry, Ringo. But They are, like I said, you could probably throw a blank over them and pull them out. And what do you get? But they're three equivalent or equal songs to me. So I have to put them in this order. And I put this song at number 3, and that is Mother Nature's Son. I know some people don't like this song. I always say that, but I just know that when I see other people's opinions of them, they don't like them. I've always liked this song, and I've only grown to love the song more. Um, I don't know what it is. It always makes me feel warm, like sunrise when this song comes on. I just can't explain it, but I just really do enjoy the song. Number 2 is another wonderful song done by John Lennon, and it's Dear Prudence, one of John's best songs as a Beatle. I've always liked this or loved this song too, almost from the day I heard it, only to appreciate it more as the years have gone by. Just a beautiful song written about Prudence Farrow while they were in India. Most people know that story. It's just amazing how you can write a song that quickly and it be that good and last that long. At least to me it does. And that leaves us with the number 1 song. Now, with the 30 songs on the White Album, some people say that the double album's too long, there's too many songs on it. Well, an easy way to do it is make a White Album and a Whiter Album. I think Ringo may have said that. I suggest with my list, if you wrote them down, or if you want to go through them, because I'm not putting the list up there because people cheat when they watch it. So, if you take the odd songs and put them on one album, and the even songs and put them on another album, you've got 2 fantastic Beatles albums. And this would be on one of the albums at number 1, and that's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Probably George's third best song as a Beatle. Let's put it there. I could contradict myself later, but I don't know. Let's say it's his third best song. And to date, up to this point, it was his best song. So that probably gives it away later. But of course, we know Eric Clapton's solo on it. That's what helps push this song along. But such a fantastic, genuinely wonderful rock and roll song for the Beatles in 1968. So that's the list or my rankings of the 30 Beatles songs or 30 songs on the Beatles album, The Beatles, otherwise known as the White Album. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would hope that you would. It would make me really, really happy. And to all my subscribers out there, thank you for subscribing. Of course, the next ranking video will be the Beatles' Abbey Road. That will be interesting because there's a lot of song fragments on there. But we'll get it figured out. So, until next time, I will see you right here. So long.